lot of young people, as they go through, this incredible maturational period, at different times, young people have thoughts about their existence, meaning, purpose, all those sorts of things, and can have periods where they feel a bit hopeless, can have periods where they may have had some mild suicidal ideation, not serviced, not supported, not picked up. Particularly here in Victoria, as we start coming out of, a pretty protracted and serious lockdown, I think we're going to see a tsunami of kids, hitting Headspace and Origin and, some of our mental health services. And schools, I think, are going to be overwhelmed by the demand on, their wellbeing staff. I'd love to see some satelliting of these services actually into schools, physically placed on the school sites, available, on the ground. I think that would be probably a significant step forward. I don't think we could just continue to rely on wellbeing staff or teachers within schools that, whose resources are already stretched. I think satellite the services, into those institutions which funnel most of the kids of Australia. I think that's probably the best step.
Finding meaningful ways to really listen and act on the voices of young people. I also think schools really need to think more about, heightened levels of distress and particularly around mental health, around some of the ways they operate, the hours they operate, the way in which they enforce rules that don't need to be enforced. That if young people are already incredibly stressed, incredibly uncertain about continuing to attend school, then schools really need to answer the question how they're going to change, not how young people are going to change. What is school going to do about it? How are they going to take the stress level down for young people? So, worrying about whether someone does or doesn't have the school blazer on, whether or not they've got school socks on, when they arrive, have they got the correct sports gear? These are things we hear all the time, cause incredible stress for young people, and we never talk about it. We never talk about the behaviours in schools that add to everyday stress for young people. So I do think that secondary schools in particular have to learn to adapt to issues around youth mental health and the ways in which they contribute to it, even if they don't realise, and be prepared to make changes themselves.
I think we're going to have high levels of youth unemployment. I think that's going to be something that we're going to see. We're going to see, I think there's going to be a greater divide in, I guess, a greater equity divide in terms of people who have and have nots within our society. I think we will see that. I think we will have a lasting emotional and mental health impacts on young people, but also more broader community as well. I know we're probably painting a really dark picture of what that 2025 will look like, but I think there's if we have only got to look at other major disruptions that have happened within economies or within communities, we see that there's the recovery cycle. It's 5 or 10 years, really, for us to really be really think about that. We look at, it's difficult to compare, but you look at those communities that were affected by the Black Saturday bushfires, and there's like 10 years of trauma and recovery that's been impacted by that.